1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
AL Wildcard Yankees at White Sox. Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1971-74 Carryover League playoffs. Playoffs are here. The playoffs are happening, and we begin in the American League Wild Card. Let's take a look, just a real quick recap of the standings in both. We'll go both leagues. American League. We'll start with the number 1 seed Tigers. How did they get there? They beat up the Expos 6 out of 7 times. An Expos team that was once 16-3 and who finished 6-15 and missed the playoffs altogether. The Tigers have a rather extraordinary season here. They won every series except 2, and when they lost the 2 series, they were swept by the Twins 3 straight, and the first time they met the Expos, they were swept by them 4 straight. You take out the 3 and 4 sweeps, this team's 22-3. Individual losses to the Indians, to Toronto in the postseason tournament, top seed matchup, and they did lose 1 game, like I said, to the Expos, 6 out of 7, though they beat them. So that's how they climbed to number 1. Baltimore held off a valiant charge by both the Yankees and the Blue Jays to get to number 2. And the Oakland A's beat up on the White Sox to flip the 3 and 4. And the Yankees finished in a tie with the Orioles, but lost a tiebreaker. It was a best-of-7 tiebreaker, losing 4 games to 3. So they have to go from a 2 to a 5. And yes, the Blue Jays get the 6. Beating out the Expos, Indians, of course, the teams out west, the Twins, the Brewers, the Angels, the Mariners, they were just bad. And the Blue Jays will play the Oakland A's, and we have today the Yankees and White Sox. We'll go over the National League here. Braves have been the number 1 team in the National League all year, 20-8. The Giants win the Who's number 2. Just except for 500, there's nothing particularly special about the Giants or Astros or Portland or the Cardinals, Cubs, Pirates, Phillies, other than they've won a few more games and haven't hit some rough patches on their schedule, so they get the number 2 seed. They should be congratulated for that. The Pirates, a remarkable run, a late remarkable run, sweeping the Astros. Look at these Astros here. What a disappointing finish they had. They were they were in first place ahead of the Giants. Giants beat them 5 out of 7. And then the Astros lost 3 straight to the Pirates. Cubs and Pirates. The Cubs are one of the best Cinderella stories in the National League. They'll meet in the wild card round. And the other wild card is a Philly team that made it largely because of they had the last place schedule. So they played the, like Padres and Las Vegas and of course in their own division, outside of the Braves, the Mets and Marlins have been bad. So the Phillies will play the Portland team. But tonight, American League wild card, Yankees, White Sox. Let's take a look at the matchups for this one. And the White Sox, so there's a day off between the end of the postseason tournament until the wild card round. Wild card round, no days off. 5 straight days without a day off. So this gives the White Sox a benefit. The Yankees will go Stottlemyre. They're going to slide McAndrew, the number 4 starter, into the 2 spot, give Fritz Peterson an extra day off, Doc Medich, and then Stottlemyre in Game 5. Meanwhile, the White Sox will go with their top 3, Wood, Bradley, Bonson. But then in Game 4, they're going to kick in that pitch on 2 days rest clause on Wilbur Wood's card, as he had 43 starts, or some ridiculous number of starts in 71 and 2. And so if they need him to pitch in Game 4, they could have him pitch in Game 4. If they're comfortable in letting Lou Krause pitch Game 4, they could have Wood pitch Game 5. But the theory would be is that if you pitch Wood early here, he would get more time off to come back sooner in the divisional round. Because the big picture for the White Sox is not winning the wild card. They want to go to the World Series, so they're trying to get Wood into as many games as possible. So, well, he will probably be used in Game 4. They have that option. And we're going to play Game 1 for you, and then after this wrap, we will get you into the deciding game or games as they occur. So let's get started. From Comiskey Park, the playoffs have arrived. Yankees, White Sox, the starting pitchers, Mel Stottlemyre, take a look at him. He 16-game winner in 71 with a 2.87 ERA and 270 innings. And the great Wilbur Wood. What's really kind of fun is that even though it seems like I'm wearing this guy out with overuse, I'm not actually playing 162 games, so it's not like I'm throwing this guy 400 innings. He's just pitched more than most other pitchers in my league, but still well under what he would have, the abuse he would have gotten. 22-13 with a 191 ERA. Stottlemyre, Wilbur Wood, very tight. Trying to pick this series, it is very close to call. The White Sox, if Wilbur Wood dominates, then I got to give it to the White Sox because the Yankees aren't that good against left-handed pitching. And the White Sox have a great offense. Yankees have probably a slightly better pitching staff overall, but it's really close. Yankees, White Sox, two teams who have been given a breath of fresh life in this timeline. As you know, the Yankees and White Sox did not make the playoffs in 71 and 74, and now they have a chance to do something special this year. All right, leading off, it'll be Roy White. 2-7 for White is single 1-2, and he lines out on a 14. Horace Clarke 1-4 is double 1-3 single ... He's a beast stealer. Bob Stinson's got a +1 arm. He's catching. He'll stay at first. Bobby Mercer, 6-12, flies to right, and with 2 outs, they're going to let Munson swing away with a guy at first. 35, single 1-15, and Munson lines the short. All right, White Sox have juggled their lineup again. The last we saw the White Sox, they dropped 4 straight to an Oakland team. So expect a rebound, I believe, as the Yankees aren't nearly as talented as the Oakland A's. White Sox have changed their lineup again. They got Orta batting in the 3 spot now. He is their leading hitter by percentage points over Allen and May. So he will be the new number 3 hitter. Carlos May is leading off. 49, flies right. Dick Allen, 64. That's a double off Stottlemyre's card. And here is George Orta. 57's a K. And with 2 outs, it's Bill Melton. 2-8 is a grounder to short. Melton got off to a torrid start with the long ball this year, but he's kind of cooled in the latter part of the season. They're hoping he rekindles that home run trot. Top of 2, Elliot Maddox. 4-12, center. Greg Nettles, 4-4. Homer 1-2, fly ball, and it's a fly ball. Mike Hirschberger, 2-8, grounds a short. Bottom of 2, it's Ken Henderson, 57's a K. Bob Stinson, 37, single 1-17, gets it. Buddy Bradford, 2-9 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Talkin' Tony Muser. 2-10, single 1-13, cannot get it. Rolls a 16 and lines out. Top of the 3rd, scoreless. Gene Tornado Alley, 66, is a pop to second. Fred Kendall, 6'11", left X. If these names don't sound familiar to the Yankees, it's because they aren't familiar to the Yankees. They were free agents brought in to face left-handed pitching. makes the catch, and that's why they're not very good against left-handed pitching. They've got Ron Blomberg and Gene Michael and Tom Hutton on the bench. Keeping Blomberg on the bench is Wilbur Wood's mission today, as he's a 329 hitter. Back up top to Roy White, 410, third X. This is Melton. 317 third baseman makes the play. Bottom of the third, Louis Aparicio, 1-4. That's a pop to short. Carlos May, 66. 111 off the Strat-O-Matic card is a base hit. A stealer, but you got Munson with a -3 arm. Dick Allen batting second. 1-7. Let's take a look at Dick Allen's card. He has been getting hot late. He's been batting average has been there all year. Went to the All-Star game, but had just 2 homers at the All-Star break. But he's starting to hit the long ball in the tournament, and now here he has a double in the first inning, and 1-7 is triple 1-6 double, and that is going to be another double to center field. Carlos May, will he take on the No, Maddox has got a -3 arm, so he'll stay put at third. Second and third, just 1 out. Ground ball can score a run. It'll be George Orta. 67, again, they're banging on Stottlemyre's card today. Double 1-3. That's an RBI single, 2-run single, and the Chi Sox grab a 2-0 lead. Bill Melton, 47, pops to third, and with 2 outs. Ken Henderson, 612, pitcher B. We go to the fourth. Horace Clark, 2-6, is a liner to third. Bobby Mercer, 610, short X. Paricio's a 2E24 shortstop makes the play. And Munson, 55, second C. 1 hitter for Wilbur Wood. Bottom of the fourth, it's Bob Stinson, 55, a K. Buddy Bradford, 38, is a K. And with 2 outs, it's Talkin' Tony Muser, 2-6, double 1-2, base hit. Louis Aparicio, 312, is a grounder to third. We'll go to the 5th inning. It's Elliot Maddox. 310, flies to left. Greg Nettles, 47, is a K. And with 2 outs, Mike Hirschberger, former White Sox player. 67, a strikeout. Wilbur Wood having an outstanding game today. 1 batter over the minimum. 2-0 White Sox lead. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, back up top to Carlos May. The ignition switch for the Chi Sox. 45, flies the center. Dick Allen, 2 for 2, 49, now he pops out, and with 2 outs, it's George Orta. 37 is a K. Nice inning there for Stottlemyre, settling down. Into the 6th, it's Gene Alley, 6'10", short X. Aparicio, a 2 shortstop, makes the play. Fred Kendall, 1-7, flies to left. And with 2 outs, it's Roy White. 3-11's a walk. Your tie run with 2 outs is Horace Clark. 4-11, first C. Bottom of the 6th, Aaron Comiskey. It'll be Bill Melton. 69 is second X. This is a 3-16 Horace Clark. And he's going to boot the ball. That's a first error of the game here. Melton's on for Ken Henderson. 1-7. Let's take a look at the Ken Henderson card of 1974. I don't know if this is his best year, but it's got to be his best year with the White Sox. He had a nice year with the Giants in 70, I believe. But man, 5-tool, classic 5-tool guy, 292, 20 bombs, could steal bases, could throw, the range, the legs. He just couldn't do it year in and year out, unfortunately. And I don't think he makes it to the 1980s. I think his last year's 78 or 79. Anyway, 111, single ... And check it out, folks. 111, single ... That thing hit like a busted up disco album out in left field. Ricocheted, rolled all the way to the wall. to the dismay of Roy White, and turns into a triple. Well, I guess it was probably too early for Disco Demolition Night in Chicago. But it's a triple nevertheless on 1-1. That is huge. That gives the White Sox a 3-0 lead. Now you got to bring the infield up as well for up and hold for Ken Henderson. Oh, up, yeah, and hold for him at third. Bob Stinson. 1-9. Let's take a look at Stinson. This was a nice little acquisition from the Expos in '73. A .261 hitting, switch hitting catcher with power both ways. How do you find guys like this on waivers? I mean, how in the heck does the Expos... Oh, I know why. The Expos had too many great players of their own to keep. But Bob Stinson was out there. Love the on base, plus the power and switch hitting ability. You just can't throw very well for a catcher. But 1-9 is double 1 at 12. It'll be the base hit, and it's 4-0 White Sox. Buddy Bradford. 3-6 is a walk. Tony Muser. 38 is a walk. The bases are loaded. The White Sox have it going on here today. Nobody out. Infield has to come up for A. Bunny Aparicio. 3-10 is a fielder's choice at the plate. 6-2. So, bottom three guys are on the bases with one out after the fielder's choice at the plate for Carlos May. 2-5. Let's take a look at Carlos May's card. My goodness. He was just as valuable as Dick Allen in '72. The spark plug, 308 hitter, 79 walks, 12 homers. Arguably Carlos' best year. He and Dick Allen's best year, probably '72. Triple 1 at 2, double the rest. That'll be a double. Do we want to run Aparicio here to clean the bases off? Now we still don't have any. We only have one out. We're just going to keep going station to station here. That will plate 2. We got second and third with one out, and it's Dick Allen. 1-5, Dick Allen. The White Sox have come to play today. That is gone. A 3-run bomb for Dick Allen. And the White Sox have a 9-0 lead on Mr. Stottlemyre. My goodness. And that'll be it for him. 5 1/3 innings. He is gone. And now you got to concern yourself with, wearing your bullpen out. But they should be fine. The Yankees got a deep bullpen. It'll be Lindy McDaniel here in the coming in relief here. McDaniel had a nice year. 12-6, 281 ERA in '73 for the Yankees. He'll come on in, see if he can get a couple outs here in the 6th inning. George Orta. 2-7 for Orta is a K, and matter of fact, they're just going to put Bucky Dent in there defensively. May as well. You got a 9-0 lead. You don't need any more offense here. And with 2 outs, the 10th batter to bat, Bill Melton. Started this, and remember, he started this inning by reaching on an error by Horace Clarke, and now he's up again. 49 off McDaniel, flies to center field. 9-0, plenty. Now you're really thinking maybe even rest Wilbur Wood here. Bobby Mercer, 57's a K. Munson, 54, center X. This is Ken Anderson's a 2 in center field. He makes the catch. And with 2 outs, Maddox, 5'10", is a strikeout. White Sox dominating today, 9-0. It'll be Ken Henderson. 58 is a K. Stinson, 1-7's a K. And Bradford, 5'11", second X. That's Horace Clarke, and he gives up a single this time. And with 2 outs, it's Muser. 39, flies to center field. We'll pull him after inning in 2/3. 9-0 game. Oh, you got to let Wilbur Wood complete it. It doesn't really matter how many innings he pitches. Greg Nettles, 2-10. Let's take a look at the Nettles card. Yep, he actually was an Indian in '71 with these 28 home runs and that great defense at third base. 261, 28 bombs, but the Yankees traded for him sooner than later. 210, that is gone. Solo shot, it is now 9-1, and with the shutout gone, I'm going to save the Wood arm. I'm going to save him so he can come back on 2 or 3 days rest and pitch in an extra innings if he needs to. So I'm going to go I'm actually going to go to Lou Krause. The scheduled Game 5 starter is going to come on in here in the 8th inning as the first of potentially 5 relievers to get the final 6 outs here. Lou Krause in the 8th inning. And he'll face Mike Hirschberger. 111, grounds a short. Gene Alley, 1-7's a K. And Fred Kendall, 54, lines to short. 9-1, bottom of the 8th. Mike Kekich will pick up an inning here. It'll be Aparicio. 1-4, third. Carlos May. 2-6. He's on again, folks. Double 1-8, base hit. Been on 3 times today. And the red-hot Dick Allen with 2 doubles and a homer so far. 3-7's ball 4. Dick Allen is red-hot for the Chi Sox. And it's Bucky Dent. 2-10 flies to left. 2 outs. Bill Melton. Haven't heard from a long ball from him in a while. 2-7's a base hit. Base to the left field. Carlos May will take on the Roy White arm. And he scores. Dick Allen goes to third. Ken Henderson. 49 flies to left. 10-1 in the 9th. We'll have Dave Lemons come on in, get the final 3 outs. The long lefty in their bullpen. Lemons was actually pretty good. A 2.94 ERA, and that would be the highest ERA out of this much maligned White Sox bullpen. The cards are there. They just have to pitch better. That's been the problem this year. Great cards, pitching poorly. It'll be Roy White in the 9th against Dave Lemons. 3-5 is a walk. Horace Clark, 110, single 1-13, gets it. 2 on. It's Bobby Mercer. 1-6, Bobby Mercer. Take a look at the card here in the 9th, making things kind of interesting. 331 hitter with 25 homers in 1971. 1-6 is gone. A 3-run homer in garbage time. It is 9-4. It is 10-4. Munson, 34, grounds to third. Elliot Maddox, 46, single 1-13, but he lines out. And it's all up to Greg Nettles here. 56 is a walk. And they can't get this game over with. Hirschberger, 58, is a strikeout. There's your ball game, folks. The White Sox do indeed win this thing by a score of 10-4. The winning pitcher is Wilbur Wood. The loser's Mel Stottlemyre. We'll take a break, and then we'll get you into the final results of this wild card series. We'll give you some live action in the deciding game or games. Thanks for checking this out. All right, baseball fans, here's the box score of Game 1 that you just saw. The White Sox beat the Yankees 10-4. A lot of bats. So what's going to happen in Game 2 in Comiskey? Can they go up 2-0 in the wild card round? It is Jim McAndrew versus Tom Bradley in this one. And boy, oh boy, pitcher's day. Bottom of the first, White Sox come out looking good. Single, K, single. But then a foul out and a pop out leaves them loaded. Missed opportunity. Top of the second, a couple singles off of Tom Bradley, but you get a double play ball. Top of the third, Roy White grounds out, gets injured. He has to leave the game. Top of the fourth, Bobby Mercer singles after strikeout. Has to steal a base to get something going, but then you get a strikeout and a ground ball. There's nothing happening with either offense today. Jim McAndrew and Tom Bradley. Until the bottom of the 6th inning, when with 1 out, George Orta, solo shot, White Sox to lead 1-0. We go to the 7th inning, a leadoff single for Mercer. A fly out, a long fly ball, Mercer tags and goes to second with 2 outs. They roll ground ball second X. George Orta is still playing there. They didn't bring in his defensive replacement. It doesn't matter. A clean defensive play by Orta to end the 7th inning. So he's your hero at this moment. Again, Tom Bradley has not given up a run in the 8th inning. 3 up and 3 down. Bottom of the 8th, McAndrew goes back out there because he's only given up a solo homer. That's it. But a couple batters too many. A leadoff double to Carlos May. And then Dick Allen rolls double single. Gets the RBI single. It's 2-zip. And that'll be showers now for the disappointed McAndrew. Sparky Lyle, the closer, They're already down 1 game in this series. They bring him in while they're down 2-0 here. He gets the final 3 outs in the 8th inning. It's 2-0. And the White Sox do a bold move. They pull Tom Bradley, throwing a shutout, because you've got Ron Blomberg, Bobby Mercer, and potentially Nettles coming up this inning. So they turn to Terry Forster, who's been horrible this year. But they said, doesn't matter. If you don't pitch well, we're not going to win anyway, so pitch well. And he does. Terry Forster in the 9th inning. After an out, pinch hitter Fred Kendall singles, but he gets Mercer and Maddox to fly out. And that is a save, and the White Sox win Game 2, 2-0. They are up 2-0 in the series, and that takes us to Game 3, which I'm in right now in Yankee Stadium. And this is, talk about Bronx Zoo. This thing is just bonkers, folks. Top of the first, White Sox, who have been red hot here. Single, a 2-out double by Henderson, scoring Aparicio. Dick Allen gets thrown out the plate. Tough break there, 1-zip. Bottom of the inning, triple by Horace Clarke, RBI single by Mercer, we're tied. Then in the 2nd inning, double single, and this is just a huge momentum swing here. 2 on, 2 outs, Carlos May on his own card. It's homer 1-2, fly ball the rest, and he gets it for the 3-run bomb. But we're not over yet. Louis Aparicio on his card, homer 1-5, double the rest. He gets it. It's now 5-1. Here come the Yankees in the 3rd inning. They would bat around against Stan Bonson. Actually, a runner, Bobby Mercer, gets thrown out the plate in this game. So Dick Allen and Bobby Mercer both gotten thrown out in this game. Bonson barely survives this 3rd inning. It's 5-5. The Yankees tie it. Then in the 4th inning, Tony Muser off his own card, homer 1-6, double the rest. It's gone. 3 miracle homers on their own cards on low probability. All hit. A double by Dent, and then Carlos May, homer, fly ball the rest. This time it's fly ball the rest. So they hit 1, 2, 3 homer chances and missed the 4th. They had 2 more runs in the 5th. Yankees had 2 runs in the 5th. It's a 9-7 game, top of the 7th inning. A strikeout, walk, single, strikeout, and then Carlos May grounds out to end that threat for the White Sox, who have put men on in every inning. But it's just a 9-7 lead, and this thing is just bonkers, folks. Peterson was pulled after 3 2/3, and then Fred Bean has pitched the last 3 1/3 innings. Starter Stan Bonson was yanked after 5 innings. He does qualify for a win. We let him get 5 innings to do that. Jack Aker came on in the 6th. And so here we are, stretch time in Yankee Stadium. They're down 9-7, facing elimination in Game 3. We're also, stretch time, listening to Paul Desmond's 1969 Bridge Over Troubled Water LP, doing all the Mrs. Robinson, etc. covers with his sax. Paul Desmond is your stretch time music. In the 7th inning, Yankees down a couple. You got Aker, Lemons available. You have Forster, of course, available, and Bart Johnson. They got 9 outs to get to win the series. But it'll be a tough battle here. It'll be Ron Blomberg leading off. 62, pitcher. Bobby Mercer. 58, short X. And that is Aparicio at 2E24 short. He makes the play. I do not think Blomberg will bat again in this game, because if he bats, he'll face a lefty. I can't imagine how the White Sox would let him swing away against a righty again. 2 outs, Elliot Maddox. 55, second X. This is Dent, a 3E34 at second base, and that's going to be an error on Bucky Dent. And now your tie run is Greg Nettles. Is this the moment where you give up and say, yeah, let's count our blessings? Aker, 5 2/3. We need 7 more outs. We're going to go to the first lefty, Dave Lemons here. Dave Lemons will come on here. 4-7, 2.94 ERA. to face Greg Nettles as the tie run in the 7th inning. The pitch to Greg Nettles. 1-8 is going to be a walk. And now it's Tom Hutton. So this is what we're talking about with these Yankees. They just are not all that against lefties. Hutton will leave, and whoever you bring in is not going to be a scary threat. It'll be Fred Kendall. Fred Kendall's the pinch hitter. Lemons will... You could just turn him around right now, since this could be the biggest threat. And your choice of Lou Krause or Bart Johnson here. I'd rather say Bart Johnson for the 8th or 9th. We're going to go Lou Krause for this batter. He's still on course to pitch a Game 5 if necessary. So he's going to come on Lou Krause in the 7th inning to get this out. Fred Kendall. You could pinch hit for Kendall now if you wanted to with whoever's left of the bench. Hirschberger or Gene Alley. And neither is any good shakes. The Yankees dug themselves a hole building this roster, and this is the type of team. You know, this sort of lefty-righty flexibility for the White Sox. You know, Johnson the righty, Forster the lefty. Krause the righty, Lemons the lefty, and Aker the righty who started this. So that is very important with such small rosters. So... will it be Fred Kendall, or will they actually try... I could stick Michael play first? No. Oh, what's his name? Ken Bloomberg could. Yeah, they're going to pinch hit again. They can't do this. They can't let that guy swing away. They're going to go Gene Tornado Alley. Let's take a look at Gene Alley. Now that we know we got a right-handed pitcher in there, we're going to go to Gene Alley, who has power against righties, and it's better than Fred Kendall. So... Kendall was announced, he'll have to leave, and then the second pinch hitter is Gene Alley with 2 on and 2 outs in a 9-7 game, elimination game. The pitch to Gene Alley. 3-4, let's take a look at Gene Alley's card. 3-4, my goodness, the Pittsburgh Pirate, longtime shortstop. He was put on waivers by the Pirates. Gene Michael was put on waivers by the Yankees. And the Yankees invited both Genes back for spring training, and they both made the roster. Here, Gene Alley, 3-4, double 1 to 3. It's a single ... and it's 9-8. And now you got Munson with runners in the corners and 2 outs. The pitch to Thurman Munson. 2-7 is a walk. And the bases are loaded for Stick Michael. The White Sox got the first 2 guys out in this inning, and then here we go again with this porous White Sox bullpen. The third reliever of the inning, trying to get the 3rd out. 9-8 game, bases loaded, 2 outs. Gene Michael, not a lot you can do here. Krause is actually better against lefties. They'll pitch to him. The pitch to Gene Michael. 66 off of Lou Krause's card. Triple 1 to 11, cleans off the bases, and another bullpen collapse for the White Sox. They blow the 9-7 lead. It's now 11-9, and now they just get an out. Roy White, 34, grounds out, and yes, Lou Krause got an out finally, but not before blowing the game and the chance for a sweep. All right, 11-9. We're going to take out Fred Bean. He went 3 1/3. Nice long relief job that gets a chance for a win. Lindy McDaniel come on in the 8th. And he'll face Aparicio, leading off in the top of the 8th inning. Defensively, Bloomberg is playing first base now. And Gene Alley can be the shortstop, and Stick Michael can be your DH. So here we are. Louis Aparicio, top of the 8th. 35, grounds are short. Dick Allen, 37's a walk. And your tie run is Bill Melton, who's done nothing in a long time. He's in the cleanup spot. They haven't moved him out of there. The guys ahead of him have been tearing it up. The guys behind him have been tearing it up. He's been 0 for the whole darn series. Big moment here for Bill Melton. 62 walks. There you go. Now you got Ken Henderson. 2 on, 1 out. 610 for Henderson. Short X. This is Alley, the 326 replacement shortstop. It's a ground ball B. Runners in the corners with 2 outs, and it's Buddy Bradford. And they're going to pull this guy. McDaniel is taken out, and Sparky Lyle's being brought in to try and get a 4-out save. Sparky Lyle against Buddy Bradford with 2 on and 2 outs. The pitch to Buddy Bradford. 48 off Lyle is a K. Bottom of the 8th inning. I think we'll just have Bart Johnson get some work. Bart Johnson's going to come in. He hasn't been pitched in the whole series here. As pretty much every White Sox pitcher you can dream up has failed miserably this season. Every time, including Bart Johnson, and Forster, and Aker, and Lemons, and now Lou Krause is added to that list. Just a nightmare season. Forster did get that save in Game 1, though. So it'll be Horace Clark in the bottom of the 8th. It's Bart Johnson. 1-4, double in the 8th, base hit. Ron Bloomberg. Remember I said they're not going to let a lefty face him again? Well, that's when they had the lead. Now they have no choice. 38 for Bloomberg is single dot dot. Up and hold for Mercer. 1-9, double ones, single dot dot. It's a 12-9. Up and hold for Maddox is a K. Up and hold for Nettles is a base hit through the drawn up infield. Up and hold for Alley. Lefty question mark. Mercer will try and score, and he does. And now you have Munson. 2-5 is a single. And now you have Michael. 4-8 flies out. 14-9 game, and Sparky Lyle's going to leave. Save his arm. Now we'll have Kekich. See if he can get 3 outs in this disaster of a game. Yeah, wild card is exactly what it is, folks. A 14 after a 2-0 crisply played Game 2 in Comiskey. We have this disaster, a 14-9 game, which has featured all the bizarre crap you can have in a Strat-O-Matic game. Homers here, and there. That probably shouldn't have happened. And then this disastrous 7th and 8th inning shouldn't have happened. So buckle up for the 9th. Mike Kekich. And it will be Tony Muser leading off. 2-9 is a walk. Tom Egan, 54, center. Bucky Dent, 39, left. And Carlos May, 2-4, is a roller to the mound. And the Yankees come back as White Sox blew this game. The White Sox had a 5-1 lead, 5-5, 7-5 lead, 9-5 lead, then 9-7, and then eventually they lose 14-9. What a disaster. And we'll come back with Game 4 and 5 if necessary. All right, folks, here is the box score of the Game 3 you just saw. The 14-9 comeback by the Yankees. After, another bullpen failure by the White Sox. Just a mess. Anyway, nothing noteworthy other than it was a mess of a game. So let's see Game 4. This is where we're at in Game 4. Wilbur Wood gets the start on 2 days rest. They need to slam the door here. And basically, if the White Sox lose this game and they lose Game 5, it was just not meant to be, is the way we have to look at this thing. Doc Medich for the Yankees. Medich not good against lefties. White Sox retooled their lineup. They have 5 lefties in there. They got the switch hitter Stinson, who gets a lot of walks on his card. Showed you this card earlier. Sandwiched between May and Orta with Dick Allen batting cleanup. Seems to work early on. Second inning, the White Sox get 4 singles, but then 2 outs, only score 2 runs. Then the White Sox get 2 hits and a walk here and leave them loaded. They're getting the guys on base. They got a 2-0 lead. Bottom of the 4th, Roy White walks. Clark singles, back-to-back doubles by Mercer and Munson. The Yankees take a 3-2 lead. But then in the 5th inning, they get to and finish off Doc Medich. An Orta single, a strikeout, walks to Henderson And Bill Melton, we have a Bill Melton sighting. He's not getting hits, but he's getting walks. That's a good start. A ground out, a walk. They bring in Kekich here, a walk, a single, and a single. It's a 3-run inning. The White Sox take a 5-3 lead. Wilbur Wood is out there still. In the 7th inning, Kekich is pulled after going 2 innings. And again, the White Sox, you get a Tony Muser double, Aparicio walk, a Carlos May walk, but then you get a double play by that Stinson card again, which is now 1, 2, 3, 0 for 5, batting him second. Well, that was not the right move. It was seen to be a good strategy against Stinson, against Medich, but it didn't work out. Anyway, it is stretch time in Yankee Stadium again, just like the game you just saw. That was 9-7. Now it's 5-3. Big difference, though. Wilbur Wood's on the mound as a lefty. And here we go into the bottom of the 7th inning with Greg Nettles leading off. 68 lines the first. Mike Hirschberger, 2 7s, a K. And Gene Alley, who is suddenly a White Sox killer. He got the big hit in the last game, and then he's been on twice today. But they finally get him out. 2-12, pops to short. We go to the 8th. Lindy McDaniel is going to go for another inning here with Sparky Lyle available in the 9th. And it's George Orta. 1-5. Let's take a look at the Orta card. Perfect timing. Homer. 1-15. Double the rest. Can't get it. It's a 2-base hit. Got to get this insurance run somehow, some way. Allen, Henderson, and Bradford against McDaniel. Here's Dick Allen. 67 is a single to center field. Orta. 16 runner. He will not run against the -3 arm of Maddox with nobody out. So now you're in trouble. McDaniel is not in danger of point of weakness. They'll have to bring the infield up. And you got a dangerous crew here. Henderson, Melton, and Bradford. They've left a ton of guys on. They need to finish off the Yankees right here and help Wilbur Wood out. Pitch to Ken Henderson. 34 with the infield up. Is center B question mark? We might have to run Orta here. 16, 17, 18. He's got to run against the -3 arm. And he is out at the plate on a 17. Elliot Maddox guns Orta out at the plate. 16, 17, 18, -3 is a 15. He is thrown out. 8-8-2 double play here. No sac fly. We have a runner at second with 2 outs and Bill Melton. But Bill Melton, 66, is a base hit to left field. And this is, oh, there's nobody at second base. My bad, I forgot it was runners on the corners. Yeah, so that was just Dick Allen, just a clean single to left field. Allen can run to third base. I doubt he'll get thrown out against the +2 arm of what's his name. 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, he'll run on the 19. Sure. Okay. So now we have runners on the corners. The double, the single, the guy gets thrown out trying to tag up. Allen's still at first. Then he goes to third on the single. There's 2 outs. And the batter will be Buddy Bradford. 1-8 for Bradford is a strikeout. And once again, White Sox do not add to their lead. They're almost through their lineup 5 times. The Yankees have yet to get through it 3 times. It's a 2-run game. This is dangerous here. I think you got to bring Bucky Dent in at this point to play defense for the White Sox against the Yankees. He'll eventually be a Yankee. He'll come in for Orta. I can't afford any miscues with 6 outs to get out of this round. Fred Kendall leads off in the bottom of the 8th. 65 off of Wood, pops to short. Wood can go 10 innings if necessary. Roy White. 2-4, flies to center, and with 2 outs, it's Horace Clarke. 2-6, lines to third base. We go to the 9th. McDaniel's day is done. Sparky Lyle will come on in the 9th inning, trying to keep this survivable for the Yankees, who have put a ton of guys on base and are lucky to just be trailing 5-3. Sparky Lyle will face Tony Muser. 67 lines to short. Aparicio, 1-4, rounds the second. And it's Carlos May. 2-7 is a base hit. Stinson, with an 0-for-5 day, will swing away. 67 is a K. Buckle up. 3 outs to get for Wilbur Wood with a 2-run lead. All the defense they have is in there. He is a starter 9, unless he breaks, and then even if he does, I don't think any of these relievers are coming in this game. We've seen enough of that this year. So here we go. Do the Yankees score 2 or 3 runs off of Wilbur Wood in the bottom of the 9th? If they do not do that, their season ends. Leading off, it is Bobby Mercer. 2-12 is a roller to first. That's a big out. The best hitter on their team. Thurman Munson. 1-6. Take a look at Munson's card against a lefty. 301, 73, 20 home runs. His best year before his MVP season in 76. 1-6. Homer 1 of 14. It is gone. Wood knew he had a batter to play with, and that's the play he did. It is 5-4. No more playing around here. 1 out, 1 in. Elliot Maddox. 56 off of Wood is a fly by the left. And it's all up to Greg Nettles. Let's take a look at his card. He hit a home run off of Wilbur Wood in the 8th inning of Game 1 on the roll of 2-9. Can he do it again here to tie it up with 2 outs? In the bottom of the 9th, they are 1 out away from going to the divisional series, the Chicago White Sox. The pitch to Greg Nettles. 57 off of Wood, strikes him out. And Wilbur Wood's getting mobbed on the mound. He has delivered another complete game, and the Chicago White Sox have beaten the New York Yankees 5-4 and have won this series 3-1. We'll pause a moment, and then we'll have a wrap. Okay, folks, here's the wrap of the game. The White Sox win 5-4. What a bizarre game when you take a deeper dive at these numbers. White Sox 5 runs on 16 hits plus 6 walks. Yankees 4 runs on 6 hits and 2 walks. 22 White Sox reached, only 8 Yankees reached, and yet it was a nail-biter. Just a 1-run win, and sometimes playoff baseball is that way, folks. And the White Sox got the win they needed to win this series 3-1. Possible sweep in there. They don't blow Game 3. I don't know. Let's take an overall look at what this means in the postseason. So, 3-1. The White Sox, their number 4 seed, they will advance. We don't know who they're going to play yet. The reason is they're number 4 seed. Toronto is the 6th seed visiting the 3 seed Oakland team. If Toronto stuns the world and beats Oakland, they would face the number 1 Detroit Tigers, and the White Sox would go to Baltimore, face the Orioles. But if tradition happens and the Dynasty A's figure out a way of finishing off these pesky Blue Jays, Oakland goes to Baltimore in the divisional round, which is somewhat of a shocker. Probably the 2 best teams in the American League. They don't get to face each other in the League Championship Series. But then you end up with this really tasty matchup between the White Sox and the number 1 Detroit Tigers. And that sounds like a lot of fun to me, White Sox-Tigers. So regardless of how it plays out with Toronto-Oakland, we're going to have a pretty fun American League the rest of the way, it looks like. And as far as the rotation now, so there it is. The only guy who could win 2 playoff games in 4 days with no day off in between, that's Wilbur Wood. So further on now, we can say the Yankees are done here. And in this playoff round, Wood gets 2 days off. One, the Game 5 day off they normally would have gotten. The day off between the 2 series. He could come back right here. This is the secret weapon the White Sox have been wanting to deploy for a couple years now, and they get to do it to the chagrin of the rest of the American League. Wood had over 40 starts in 71 and 72, so if they're going to throw that dude out there on 2 days rest in meaningless regular season, August, May, June baseball, you should certainly be able to use him that way when it counts in the playoffs. So it'll be Wood, Bradley, Bonson, and then in a 7-game series with a day off in Game 5, you can keep doing that. Have Wood go there, and then have Krause go here. And then he could pitch Wood 1, 2, put him in Game 6 and Bradley in Game 7. What this does is it gives Bradley the second, of course, role. And now Bonson's just going to get one start in this series. So basically, Wood is going to take a start away from Stan Bonson. And frankly, it sounds good to me because Bonson's not been pitching well at all lately. So that's what the White Sox are going to do. We don't know who their opponent is going to be yet. We do know that the Yankees have been eliminated. And that's all we know at this point. So with that, we'll end it here. Congratulations to your Chicago White Sox. They defeat the Yankees 3-1. They advance to the divisional round of the playoffs. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you next time.